Tomorrow might be the last day you can install Windows without surrendering your email address to Microsoft. Not next month, not eventually. Tomorrow. There's a policy change rolling out to Windows 11 installations right now, quietly, with no announcement, no press release, no clear warning to users, that removes the final widely known method for creating a local offline account during setup. For years, people have found ways around Microsoft's push toward mandatory online accounts. Registry edits, command line tricks, workarounds that required technical knowledge but were accessible enough that guides spread across forums and YouTube. Those methods are being systematically closed, one by one. And the last remaining bypass, the one that still works as of today, may stop working as soon as the next cumulative update, which could be tomorrow. This is not speculation. This is happening. And if you care about installing Windows on your own terms, about maintaining even the possibility of using your computer without tying it to a corporate cloud identity, you need to understand what is being taken away, why it matters, and what, if anything, can still be done about it. To understand what is at stake here, you first need to understand what a local account actually is and why it exists. When you set up a computer running Windows, you create a user account, a username and a password. That account is how you log in. It is how Windows knows who you are, what your files are, what your settings are, what permissions you have. For the first 3 decades of Windows history, from Windows 1.0 in 1985 through Windows 7 in 2009 and beyond, that account existed only on your computer. It was local. Your username and password were stored on your hard drive. When you typed your password at login, Windows checked it against the local database of user credentials. If it matched, you were in. No internet connection required. No Microsoft servers involved. No cloud authentication. The account was yours and it lived on your machine. If you set up numerous different computers, each one would have its own separate local account. There was no syncing, no connection between them. Each computer was independent. This model had clear advantages. Privacy. Microsoft did not know who you were. They did not have an email address associated with your Windows installation. They could not build a profile linking your device to your identity. Offline functionality. You could use Windows completely disconnected from the internet, install it, use it, never connect to a network, and everything worked. Control. You owned the account. If you forgot your password, you could reset it using local tools or bootable recovery media. You did not need to contact Microsoft support or prove your identity to a corporation. And simplicity. No email verification, no two-factor authentication, no cloud dependency, just a username and a password and you were done. Then Microsoft introduced the Microsoft account, initially as Windows Live ID, then rebranded as Microsoft account. This is a different type of account. It is not local, it is a cloud identity, an email address and password that exist on Microsoft servers. When you log into Windows with a Microsoft account, your computer connects to Microsoft's authentication servers over the internet and verifies your credentials in the cloud. Once authenticated, Windows links your device to your online identity. And from that point forward, your account is no longer just on your computer. It is part of Microsoft's ecosystem. OneDrive starts syncing your files. Your settings, wallpaper, browser favorites, app preferences can sync across devices. Your activity history can be logged and stored in the cloud. Your device is registered to your Microsoft account, which means Microsoft knows exactly what hardware you're using, when you use it, and what you do with it. Your email address becomes your login. Your cloud identity becomes your Windows identity. Microsoft started offering this as an option in Windows 8. You could choose to sign in with a Microsoft account, or you could still create a local account the traditional way. Most people stuck with local accounts because that was familiar. Microsoft accounts were new, required an internet connection during setup, and felt like an unnecessary complication. But with Windows 10, Microsoft started pushing harder. During the setup process, the Microsoft account option became more prominent. The local account option was buried, harder to find, described in less appealing language. If you chose Microsoft account, the setup flow was smooth and encouraged. If you chose local account, you had to click through extra steps and dismissive language suggesting you were making the less secure choice. This is dark pattern design, using interface choices to manipulate user behavior. Make the thing you want people to do easy and obvious. Make the alternative hard and hidden. By Windows 11, Microsoft had gone further. In Windows 11 Home Edition, the local account option was removed entirely from the standard setup flow. When you set up a new computer running Windows 11 Home, the installer requires you to connect to the internet. It requires you to sign in with a Microsoft account or create a new one. There's no button that says use a local account instead. The option simply does not appear. For most users, this is the end of the line. They assume that if Windows is asking for a Microsoft account, then a Microsoft account is required. They create one or they use an existing one, and they never realize that the traditional local account model still exists. It has just been hidden from them. But for technically knowledgeable users, for people who read forums and watch tutorials, there were workarounds, methods to bypass the Microsoft account requirement and create a local account anyway. These methods relied on exploiting assumptions in the Windows setup process, or using command line tools to skip certain steps. I am going to describe the major ones, not as a how-to guide, but as a history of how Microsoft has systematically closed every door. The first widely used method was the fake email bypass. During setup, when Windows asks you to sign in with a Microsoft account, you could type in a fake or non-existent email address, something like nothankyou.com. Windows would attempt to verify it, fail, and then offer you the option to create a local account instead. This worked for months. Then Microsoft patched it. The setup process started checking email addresses against a known pattern and rejecting obvious fakes. That door closed. The next method was the airplane mode trick. Before starting the Windows setup, you could disconnect your computer from the internet, unplug the Ethernet cable, turn off Wi-Fi. With no internet connection, Windows could not verify a Microsoft account, and the installer would fall back to offering a local account option. This worked in early versions of Windows 11. Then, Microsoft changed the setup process so that it required an internet connection before proceeding. If you were not connected, you could not continue. The installer would sit on a screen asking you to connect to a network. No bypass, no skip button. You were stuck until you connected. That door closed. Then came the UBI bypass NRO command. UBI stands for out-of-box experience, the setup process you go through when you first Windows. Bypass NRO stands for bypass network requirement online. This was a hidden command built into the Windows installer, likely intended for enterprise deployments or testing scenarios. If you pressed Shift F10 during setup to open a command prompt, then typed OBE/bypass NRO and pressed enter, the computer would restart and the setup process would include an option to skip internet connection and create a local account. This was a game changer. It was simple enough that non-experts could follow a guide. It required no special tools. And it worked reliably. For over a year, this was the go-to method. Guides spread across Reddit, YouTube, tech blogs. Everyone who wanted a local account used this command. Microsoft knew about it. They had to. It was their own command. And for a while, they left it alone. But in recent months, reports started appearing that OBE bypass NRO was being patched out of newer Windows 11 builds. Some users following guides found that the command did nothing. The computer restarted, but the setup process was unchanged. The internet requirement remained. The local account option did not appear. The command had been disabled. That door was closing. Which brings us to the current moment. As of right now, today, there's one remaining method that still works on most systems. It involves using a specific blocked domain trick. During the Microsoft account sign-in step, you enter a blocked or banned email address, something like aaa.com, an address that Microsoft has blacklisted. When Windows tries to authenticate it, it fails and throws an error. Then, instead of forcing you to try again, the setup flow shows a small link that says Sign in Options, or create a local account instead. Why? This is not intuitive. The link is easy to miss, but if you know to look for it and click it, you can bypass the Microsoft account requirement and create a local account. This works, right now, today. But for how much longer? Microsoft has not publicly announced they are removing this. They do not announce when they patch these bypasses. They just do it. An update rolls out. The method stops working. Users notice only when they try it and it fails. And there are reports scattered across forums and social media in the last few days that the blocked email method is failing for some users on the very latest Windows 11 builds. Not everyone, not yet, but enough that it is clear Microsoft is testing a patch. And when that patch goes live in a cumulative update, which could happen any day, that final door will close. There will be no widely known method left to create a local account during Windows 11 home setup. Now, you might be thinking, why does this matter? Why is Microsoft doing this? And what do they gain from forcing everyone onto Microsoft accounts? The answers are layered. First, Microsoft has stated reasons. And then there are the unstated reasons that become clear when you look at their broader business strategy. The stated reasons are about security and user experience. Microsoft argues that Microsoft accounts are more secure than local accounts. If you forget your local account password, you're locked out unless you have a recovery disk or technical knowledge to bypass it. With a Microsoft account, you can reset your password from any device by accessing your email. Microsoft accounts enable features like Find My Device. Also, if your laptop is stolen, you can track it or remotely wipe it. They enable seamless sync across devices. Your documents, photos, settings follow you from your desktop to your laptop to your tablet. And Microsoft accounts integrate with Windows Hello biometric authentication, which they argue is more secure and convenient than typing a password. All of these are legitimate benefits. For users who want those features, Microsoft accounts provide real value. But here is what Microsoft does not emphasize. Microsoft accounts give Microsoft unprecedented visibility into how you use Windows. When your device is linked to your Microsoft account, Microsoft knows your device ID, your hardware specifications, your location, your usage patterns. Every app you install from the Microsoft Store is logged. Every settings change can be tracked. Diagnostic data, telemetry, error reports, all of it is tied to your identity instead of being anonymized. This creates a detailed profile, and profiles are valuable. They are valuable for targeted advertising, also which Microsoft is increasingly integrating into Windows through features like personalized recommendations and ads in the Start menu. They are valuable for training AI models, which require massive data sets of real user behavior. They are valuable for enforcing compliance with terms of service, detecting piracy, managing licenses, and controlling access to features. Cloud-linked accounts also create dependency. Once your Windows installation is tied to a Microsoft account, once your files are syncing to OneDrive, once your settings and preferences are stored in the cloud, switching away from Microsoft becomes harder. You are locked into the ecosystem. If you want to leave, you have to untangle everything. Download your files from OneDrive. Reconfigure your settings manually. Break the sync. It is friction. And friction keeps customers. This is not unique to Microsoft. Apple does the same thing with iCloud and Apple ID. Google does it with Google accounts. The entire tech industry has moved toward cloud identity as the foundation of user experience because it serves the platform owner's interests. Data collection, ecosystem lock-in, control. And control is the core issue. A local account gives you autonomy. Your computer works independently. You can install Windows, never connect to the internet, never give Microsoft any information about yourself, and everything functions. You are anonymous. You are offline. You are independent. Microsoft cannot remotely access your device. They cannot push policy changes that alter your settings. They cannot revoke your license or disable features without physical access to your machine. A Microsoft account inverts this. Your ability to log in depends on Microsoft servers being online and your account being in good standing. If Microsoft decides your account violated their terms of service, they can lock you out. If their authentication servers are down, you cannot log in. If you lose access to the email address linked to your account and cannot verify your identity, you lose access to your device. Your computer, the physical hardware you paid for, becomes dependent on a corporation's infrastructure and policies. This is a fundamental shift in the power dynamic, and it is permanent. Now, are there still ways to use a local account even after the setup bypasses are patched? Yes, but they are increasingly technical and inaccessible to average users. After installing Windows with a Microsoft account, you can go into Settings, Accounts, and switch to a local account. This option still exists in Windows 11 Pro, but it requires you to first complete the setup with a Microsoft account, which means your device is registered, your data is linked, and you have to trust that switching to local actually severs that connection. And in Windows 11 Home, the option to switch to a local account is being hidden or removed in some builds. Microsoft is testing versions of Windows where that option is grayed out or missing entirely. Another method is to use Windows 11 Pro or Enterprise instead of Home. Pro Edition still offers a local account option during setup if you use the ubi bypass NRO command or other methods. But Pro costs more. It requires either buying a Pro license or upgrading from Home, which Microsoft charges $100 or more to do. So the workaround is to pay Microsoft more money, which is not really a workaround. There are also third-party tools and custom Windows installation media that strip out the Microsoft account requirements and other unwanted features. Projects like Tiny11 or various debloater scripts. But these require downloading modified Windows images from unofficial sources, which carries security risks, or running scripts that modify system files, which can break updates or cause instability. These are not solutions for mainstream users. They are last resorts for enthusiasts who are willing to take risks and troubleshoot problems. The truth is, Microsoft is winning. They are slowly, methodically, closing every path to local accounts. And they can do this because they own Windows. It is their operating system. They set the terms, and the terms are changing. The Windows you could install in 2015 with a local account and no internet connection is not the Windows you can install in 2025. The architecture has changed. The assumptions have changed. The business model has changed. Windows is no longer a product you buy and own. It is a service you subscribe to, not with monthly payments, but with your data, your identity, and your acceptance of cloud dependency. And this is happening across the industry. Apple requires an Apple ID for most iPhone and Mac functionality. Google requires a Google account for Android. Even Linux, the traditional refugee for people who want full control, is seeing pressure toward cloud integration with projects like Ubuntu pushing snap packages that tie to online accounts and cloud services. The entire computing industry is moving toward a model where your device is just a terminal, a thin client that connects to cloud services, and your identity, your data, your software, all live on corporate servers. Ownership is being replaced with access. Control is being replaced with convenience, and privacy is being replaced with personalization. The fight over local accounts in Windows is not just about a checkbox in a setup wizard. It is about whether you can use a computer on your own terms, whether you can own a device without being required to identify yourself to a corporation, whether you can operate offline, independently, anonymously. These are not abstract principles. They have real implications. For journalists protecting sources, for activists in authoritarian countries, for people in abusive relationships who need devices their abusers cannot track, for anyone who simply values privacy and does not want their every action logged and analyzed. For all of these people, local accounts matter. And they are being taken away. Microsoft will say they are improving security. They will say they are enabling better features. They will say that the vast majority of users prefer the convenience of cloud accounts. And all of that has some truth. But it is also true that they are eliminating choice. They are making it impossible for even technically skilled users to opt out without jumping through increasingly difficult and fragile hoops. They are designing a future where the very concept of a computer that works independently of corporate infrastructure is obsolete. So what happens tomorrow? Maybe the last bypass gets patched. Maybe it survives another month. But the direction is clear. The destination is inevitable. Microsoft is not going to reverse course. They are not going to suddenly decide that local accounts should be easy and accessible again. Every update, every new build of Windows moves further toward mandatory cloud identity. And eventually, probably sooner than most people expect, there will be no workaround left. Creating a local account on Windows will be impossible without custom installation media or enterprise licensing. And for the average user, for the person who just wants to set up their laptop without handing over their email address, that option will be gone permanently. But here's the thing. The real change already happened. It was not a single update or a specific patch. It was the slow accumulation of policy changes, design decisions, and ecosystem integration over the last decade. Windows stopped being a standalone operating system you own and became a gateway to Microsoft's cloud services. And once that transformation was complete in Microsoft's architecture and business model, everything that is happening now, the removal of bypasses, the restrictions on local accounts, the mandatory online authentication, all of it became inevitable. You can fight individual battles. You can use workarounds and bypasses, but you are fighting the architecture itself, and the architecture is designed to make your resistance unsustainable. So maybe the question is not how do we bypass the Microsoft account requirement tomorrow? Maybe the question is how much longer are we willing to use an operating system that fundamentally does not respect our desire for control? Because the future Microsoft is building is not one where your computer belongs to you. It is one where your computer is a node in their network. Your data feeds their AI. Your identity anchors their ecosystem, and your consent is assumed, not requested. That future is not coming. That future is here, and every closed door, every patched bypass, every removed option is just another reminder that the device you paid for was never really yours to begin with.